السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
صلى الله عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين وعلى الصفوة المخلصة من أصحابه المنتجبين ومن تبعهم بإحسان وإيمان إلى يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم اجعل نفسي مطمئنة بقدرك راضية بقضائك مولعة بذكرك ودعائك محبة لصفوة أوليائك محبوبة في أرضك وسمائك صابرة على نزول بلائك شاكرة لفواضل نعمائك ذاكرة لسوابغ آلائك مشتاقة إلى فرحة لقائك متزودة التقوى ليوم جزائك مستنة بسنن أوليائك مفارقة لأخلاق أعدائك مشغولة عن الدنيا بحمدك وثنائك. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا هل أدلكم على تجارة تنجيكم من عذاب أليم تؤمنون بالله ورسوله وتجاهدون في سبيل الله بأموالكم وأنفسكم ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون يغفر لكم ذنوبكم ويدخلكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ومساكن طيبة في جنات عدن ذلك الفوز العظيم وأخرى تحبونها نصر من الله وفتح قريب وبشر المؤمنين. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Each and every individual should ask himself and herself, where does this life taking me? Where am I standing now? What is my direction? How I'm going to conclude my life? These are very vital, important and relevant questions that we have to ask ourselves regularly. We have to question ourselves. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam says, الموت معقود بنواصيكم والدنيا تطوى من خلفكم. Death has been assigned, engraved on your foreheads. When you are born, you are destined to die, with no exception. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة. The Lord who created death and life. And see, here death comes before life. Death not in the meaning of annihilation, that you go away, you get destroyed completely. Death as transferal from this abode, this limited, small abode, Hayatul Dunya, lower life, into the permanent, into the bigger, into the real abode. This is the meaning of death in the Quran. This is why death comes before life. Because death is going to transfer you into the real life, the permanent life. الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ. So he would put you to test. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ. To put you to test to see who does the best. أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. So what is required from us is to do the best. Is to be the best. We have to ask ourselves these questions. Death has been engraved on our foreheads. مَعْقُودٌ بِنَوَاصِيكُمْ وَالدُّنْيَا. Amir al-Mu'mineen gives this parable. The similitude of the dunya is like a carpet. When you roll it over, when you roll the carpet over, this is our life. It's being rolled over behind us. Today, what was today? Today was Saturday, February 8th, 2014. This day is gone. This day would not come back. It's over. Tomorrow we face another day. ما من يوم يا ابن آدم ما من يوم إلا والأرض تخاطبك وتقول أنت تمشي على ظهري وعن قليل تحل في بطني أنا بيت الوحشة أنا بيت الغربة أنا بيت العقارب والحيات فاعمرني ولا تخربني. Every single day this earth speaks to us, but we can't hear. We can't hear. But tomorrow we will hear. We will be able. The Holy Quran says, فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. Today there are curtains being drawn. Tomorrow they remove these curtains so we can see. فَبَصَرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيدٌ. You develop an iron vision so you can see. Your vision can penetrate these partitions and these curtains. You can see the reality. You can see the reality of this life. Today we cannot see. Today we only see the physical side of it, the outer side of it, the exterior. We don't see the interior. Tomorrow, at the time of death, we're going to see the interior. We're going to see the reality. لقد كنت في غفلة من هذا فكشفنا عنك غطاءك فبصرك اليوم حديد. Every day this earth that we step on speaks to us and says to us, Ya ibn Adam, be careful, be careful. Now you walk above me. Tomorrow they're going to put you inside me here, in my belly. I'm going to contain you tomorrow. Maybe 3 feet, maybe 6 feet, maybe 10 feet down. Be careful of what you do. Be careful of what you say. Be careful with your provision. What are you going to carry with you? You know, in many airports, before you board the airplane, they ask you, what do you carry in this luggage? Actually, when you print your boarding pass, I have a flight tomorrow. When I go to the hotel and I print my boarding pass, there is a full page that says these materials are forbidden. If you carry them, we're going to arrest you. These materials. You have to be careful with the materials you carry with you. Allah says to us exactly the same. Be careful with the material that you're going to carry with you tomorrow to your qabr, to your final destination. There are certain things that are going to put you in a trouble. Don't carry them with you. Don't carry the ma'siyah, the sin. Try to clear your provision, your luggage, from any sin, from any violation. يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. Your luggage has to be purified. بقلب سليم. You have to carry the hasanat because you need them. And now it's the time to create and establish and produce these hasanats. اليوم عمل ولا حساب وغدا حساب ولا عمل. We have an opportunity now to work, to produce. Tomorrow it's going to be too late. When we see the angel of death approaching us to take our soul, to separate the nafs, the soul, out of this body, we're going to beg him, please, لعلي أعمل صالحا حتى إذا حضر أحدهم الموت قال ارجعون. Please, leave me. One more day. Just give me one more break. One more opportunity. One more chance. لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت. The answer comes to him, كلا إنها كلمة هو قائلها ومن ورائهم برزخ إلى يوم يبعثون. When your soul takes off, you cannot abort that flight. You cannot abort the takeoff. خلاص, they tell you it's too late. We have given you 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. You had enough time to work, but you were lazy. But you were heedless. You did not take our call serious. You turned your back to our call. You were heedless. You refused to listen. You said to yourself, I have enough time. I have enough time to offset my mistakes, my problems, my sins. But you never know the time of departure. You never know. If you happen to go to any cemetery today, do you think that only people who are above 80s and 90s, they are buried in these cemeteries? No. Go yourself to any cemetery, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist cemetery, you find that there is a large portion of those who are buried there are very young, in their 20s and 30s, very young. And they thought that they're going to live 60 more years. But when the time comes, there is no delay. فإذا جاء أجلهم لا يستأخرون ساعة ولا يستقدمون. We have to prepare. This is a wake-up call for all of us. This life keeps us busy with this dunya, with materialism. This life does not give us the opportunity to think of tomorrow, the future. We have to be smart. We have to think of what is ahead of us. Yes, we work for this life. اعمل لدنياك كأنك تعيش أبدا. Work. Be serious worker. Be smart. Be a good breadwinner to your family. Be an active member in your society. Be a good father. Be a good mother. Be a good student. Be a good worker. But at the same time, وَاعْمَلْ لِآخِرَتِكَ كَأَنَّكَ تَمُوتُ غَدًا. Be prepared for the departure. Be prepared. While you are working for your family, for your country, for your community, for your society, for yourself, at the same time work for tomorrow, for your future. For your future. Some people think that I cannot work for both. Either I can work for dunya or for akhirah. We cannot bring both. No, this is wrong. You can work for dunya and you can work for the akhirah. Working for the dunya, be an honest person. In your business, in your trade, in your dealing with others, be an honest person. Be truthful. Speak the truth when you deal with others. Amir al-Mu'mineen has a powerful statement on the truth, as-sidq. He says, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يؤثر الصدق حيث يضره على الكذب حيث ينفعه. لا يؤمن أحدكم. No one can attain real faith, real iman and faith, unless he or she give preference to truth over falsehood, over lying. Even though this truth is going to hurt him. It's going to hurt his business. It's going to hurt his income. It might hurt his legal status. Let's speak the truth. على الكذب حيث ينفعه. If he lies, he's going to profit, but don't lie. Because this profit is short-term and short-lived. The profit that when we think that if I lie, I'm going to make more money here, this is short-lived. This is not real profit. This is not real gain. It looks to me it's gain, ribh, but in the long term, it's a big loss. It's a big loss. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَحِيقُ الْمَكْرُ السَّيِّئُ إِلَّا بِأَهْلِ. People who are used to cheat and lie and plan against others, against innocent people, they think that they are winning. They are making more money, more position, more influence. But they are losers. They are losers. One day they would wake up. Not only they're going to lose the akhirah, they're going to lose their dunya too. Even in this life, they're going to be losers. Even in this life. One of the most important levels of iman and faith is ikhlas, devotion, earnestness and devotion. What does earnestness mean? The true mu'min, the true believer, the one who truly loves God, is the one that dedicates his entire a'mal, deeds, his entire life for the sake of God. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy. الإخلاص مرتبة الأولياء الأنبياء. It's not easy. It's not easy that you devote everything, you dedicate everything you do for the sake of God, regardless of what people are going to say about you. It's not easy. But this is the essence of faith. This is the essence of Islam. Is that everything we do, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي. Every aspect of my life, social aspect, private aspect, inside the house, outside the house, with my family, with my co-workers, with my friends, with my enemies, I put God first. أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى. أَلَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَرَى. Everything I say, I consider God first. وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. Every sentence we utter today, whether it is in private or public, whether you say it to your wife or to your friend or to a neighbor or to someone in the street, stranger, it's being documented. ما يلفظ. See now, I speak to you and there's a small device here, very small, you can put it in your pocket. They call it a camera. It's recording everything I do and everything I say. God has many cameras like that. If this camera lasts for 2 hours, God's cameras last for millions of years. They don't need recharging. Their batteries are powerful and eternal. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. 2 angels recording everything we say, everything we do. And then they're going to present that to us on the Day of Judgment. We come on the Day of Judgment, there is a huge screen. Not only we see the screen, not only us who see the screen, all the people who are there in the mahshar on the Day of Judgment. Billions of people, they can see it, they can read it. Huge screen. وكل إنسان ألزمناه طائره في عنقه ونخرج له يوم القيامة كتابا يلقاه منشورا اقرأ كتابك كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. We're going to see it. So ikhlas is one of the highest levels of faith. To dedicate your a'mal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Quran tells us that if our deeds, my friends, if our deeds, our a'mals, whatever they are, if they do not contain ikhlas, this element of earnestness and devotion and dedication and sincerity to God, they are going to be rejected. They are not going to be accepted. إنما يتقبل الله من المتقين. القرآن يؤكد أن أعمالنا إذا لم تنطوي على عامل الإخلاص لله لم يكن فيها إخلاص. أي عمل كان، سواء صلاة أو صيام أو تبرع أو إطعام أو قراءة دعاء أو مساعدة فقير، أي شيء كان، إذا ما في عامل الإخلاص لن يقبل، لن يقبل، يرفض. وهذه أول قصة حدثت في تاريخ البشرية. ما هي أول قصة حدثت في تاريخ البشرية؟ قابيل وهابيل. Cain and Abel, two brothers from the same father and same mother. One of them, when he offered, Allah asked them to offer donation, sacrifice. Habil chose the best product to give it to God. Qabil, he was a businessman, a bad businessman, not a good one. He thought that he can cheat on God. So he chose the bad product. Whatever is rotten and bad, just before throwing it into the recycle or the trash, he said, let me give this one to God. فَتُقُبِّلَ مِنْ أَحَدِهِمَا وَلَمْ يُتَقَبَّلْ وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ ابْنَيْ آدَمَ إِذْ قَرَّبَا قُرْبَانًا. Qurban means a sacrifice. They gave donation. فَتُقُبِّلَ مِنْ أَحَدِهِمَا. We accepted, we endorsed one donation and we rejected the other. فَتُقُبِّلَ مِنْ أَحَدِهِمَا وَلَمْ يُتَقَبَّلْ مِنَ الْآخَرِ. So Qabil, rather than submitting and accepting this fact that he did wrong, it was his problem, he became jealous. See, the act of haram, one haram leads into another haram, a second one. The second one leads into the third one. It's a chain effect. One haram leads into another. If we don't stop it, if we don't crash it, this haram is going to lead to a second one, a third one, a fourth one, and one day the person finds himself being drowned in haram. Haram surrounding him from every side. So he became jealous of his brother. قَالَ لَأَقْتُلَنَّكَ. The answer came from his brother when he said to him, I'm going to murder you. Very beautiful answer. قَالَ إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Examine your life, your job. إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Don't fight with me. Go and re-examine what you did. Revisit what you did. If you have done good, if you have given your donation, contribution out of your heart, from the good goods that you have, the good products that you have, God would have accepted that. But you have a problem. Go and fix it. لئن بسطت يدك إلي لتقتلني ما أنا بباسط يدي إليك لأقتلك. Even if you stretch your hand to murder me, I'm your brother, I'm not going to hurt you. Why? إني أخاف الله رب العالمين. I can see God. God is observing what I'm doing. ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى. ماكو قوة في الكون تردع الإنسان عن الجريمة وعن الذنب مثل خوف الله سبحانه وتعالى. لا شرطة، لا جيش، لا محاكم، لا قضاة. المجرم مجرم. الشيء الوحيد الذي يردع الإنسان عن ارتكاب المنكر والحرام هو معرفة الله أولا، ثم الخوف من الله واحترام الله وحب الله. حب الله إذا دخل في قلب إنسان مؤمن يمنعه من ظلم الآخرين، يمنعه أن يعتدي على الناس، يعتدي على زوجته أو زوجة تعتدي على زوجها تظلم زوجها، أو أب يعتدي على أولاده أو على جاره أو صديقه أو شريكه في التجارة في البيع في الشراء، ما يسويها أبدا. That person who came to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam and he said to him, I have one daughter people come to me asking for my daughter's hand. فَمَنْ أُزَوِّجْ? What did he say to him? Who knows the answer? The man who came to Imam Hussein and he said to him, I have one daughter. I love her so much. And there are many people in the community asking for her hand. So what do you recommend? Who should I give her in marriage? Imam Hussein said the following. Remember this hadith. He said to him, زوجها ممن يتق الله تعالى. He didn't say give her to the most handsome, to the celebrity, to the one who has, money and wealthy and intelligent and he has a PhD from this university and that school. He never said this. Neither he said to him, give her to the son of this alim, scholar, tribal leader. زوجها ممن يتق الله. زوجها ممن يتق الله. Do you seek happiness for your daughter? Try to give her to one who fears God. The one who can see God all the time. فَإِنْ أَحَبَّهَا. If he fall in love with her, أكرمها. He would honor her and respect her. وَإِنْ لَمْ يُحِبْهَا. Maybe there is no love between them. لَمْ يَظْلِمْهَا. لَمْ يَظْلِمْهَا. He would never abuse her. He would never abuse her. We have to build this taqwa. We have to build it slowly. We cannot go to bed tonight and we think tomorrow we wake up, we have taqwa and righteousness and piety. You have to build it. You have to be patient. Slowly. And these acts, the act of salat, when you stand for the prayers, when you listen to the Quran, when you read the Quran yourself and you reflect with reflection. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Today we have abandoned the Quran. We read all sorts of articles, magazines, newspapers, books, fictions. When it comes to the Quran, we don't have time. We don't make time for the Quran. A mu'min, it's highly recommended for every mu'min. لكل مؤمن يجب على كل الحديث يقول أن يقرأ على الأقل 50 آية من كتاب الله في كل يوم. At least 50 verses of the Quran. Every single day. We don't do that. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. We abandoned this Quran. We deserted the Quran. We have time to watch movies for hours. We have time to watch the Super Bowl for 5 hours. But we have no 5 minutes. We have no time for the Quran, even for 5 minutes. We have no time. This is why we are away from Islam is alien. سيعود الإسلام غريبا كما بدأ غريبا. Yes, we have mosques. We have people who call themselves Muslims, but where is the Islamic manners? Where is the Islamic attitude? Where is the Islamic akhlaq? It's missing. This is why the rate of divorce increasing, the rate of separation, the conflict between the Muslims, including the killing, the sectarianism which is happening now in every Muslim country. Look at Egypt, look at Syria, look at Iraq, look at Yemen, in Bahrain, in the Arabian Peninsula, in other countries. Muslims are killing each other because we turned away from the Quran. We turned our back to the Quran. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. This is the wording of God. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي. If you turn away from my dhikr, from my law, from my reminder, this book, فَإِنَّ لَهُ. Nothing he gained but a miserable life. مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. قال رب لم حشرتني أعمى وقد كنت بصيرا قال كذلك أتتك آياتنا فنسيتها. فنسيتها, it means you neglected them, negligence. You disregarded them, you disrespected them. فنسيتها وكذلك اليوم تنسى. Hence, today we're going to forget you. We're going to neglect you today on the Day of Judgment. When we turn our back to the Quran, this life is going to be miserable, and that one, the next one, is even more miserable. These small acts of worshipping, salat, Quran, dua, tahajjud, qiyamul layl, ومن الليل فتهجد به نافلة لك عسى أن يبعثك ربك مقاما محمودا. You must make some time. You must make some time. Now, I was asked last night, every night we make time? Sometimes no, not every other night. You can't every other night, every 3 nights. You can't every 3 nights, once a week, once a month. Stand in the middle of the night and speak to your Lord in a private tahajjud. This communion with your Lord, it's going to strengthen you. It's going to strengthen you. Deepens your faith, your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your tawakkul, your trust in God is going to increase when you speak to Him in a private. Your tawakkul. You are not going to fear people around you. من خاف الله تعالى أخاف الله منه كل شيء. The one who fears God, God is going to make everything fears Him. And the one who does not fear God, listen to the hadith. The one who does not fear God, he is going to fear everything in this life. Everything is going to worry him, irritates him. Why people now, many people, they don't have an easy life. They don't live in peace. They don't feel security. They feel always insecure. Because their relationship with the source of power, with the source of strength, with the source of security is cut off. There is no service. Have you seen when you go to some areas, no service? They have no service. They disconnected it. They don't want to talk to Him. And when you disconnect with the source of power, you feel weak inside. Even if you have money in your bank account, even if you have the best house, the best mansion, still inside, you feel weak. Isa على نبينا وعلى آله وعليه الصلاة والسلام مر يوما على رجل, passed by a person who was very sick. He was blind, he was paralyzed, he was homeless, he had no food, no shelter, no family, no friends, no future. He asked him, كيف أصبحت يا عبد الله? Tell me about your condition. How do you feel? He said, لقد أصبحت في أحسن حال يا روح الله. He said, I am in my best condition. I'm so happy. Isa alayhi salam said to him, you are so happy? Happy for what? You have no wife, you have no kids, you have no shelter, you have no food, you have no clothing, you have no vision, eyes to see, you have no health, you have no place to sleep. What do you have? He said, Ya Ruh Allah, inna qalbi wa lisani la yanqati'u an dhikrillahi lahzatan wahida. Yes, I'm strong, I'm happy because my heart and my tongue never cease remembering Allah. I have Allah. Yeah, I don't have a family, kids, place to stay, but I have God in my heart. I'm the happiest person. الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. Today people seek treatment, they go to doctors, professional, treatment. They survive on tablets, antidepressant, and this and that. That is still with some people it does not help. Because the connection is weak. If they fix this connection, they don't have to see a doctor. وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. He's the healer. This is the medicine here. وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. For those who believe, for those who follow. For those who follow. بِشَرْطِهَا وَشُرُوطِهَا. When you believe in God, you have to follow Him. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهِ. What else? فَاتَّبِعُونِي. I cannot say I love God. God is in my heart, but when it comes to my religious duties, I forget about them. When it comes to prayers, when it comes to zakat, when it comes to hijab, when it comes to the haram food, I don't care, I eat any food. When it comes to ghiba, backbiting, I don't care. When it comes to accusation, when it comes to slandering, tuhma, namima, I can't. فَاتَّبِعُونِي. Listen to God, obey Him, follow Him. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. There are many people in the Muslim community, they don't eat pork, they don't drink alcohol, they don't fornicate, but when it comes, they don't miss any prayers, but when it comes to the ghiba, they don't miss any ghiba, alhamdulillah. They don't miss any opportunity. And sometimes al-ghibatu ashaddu min az-zina, worse than fornication. Not because fornication is not bad. It's very, 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 very extremely terrible. But the hadith wants to tell you that ghiba even more terrible because it destroys the social bonds, the social relationships between the brothers, between the sisters, between the community members. إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا. Allah wants to see the Muslims strong, dignified. Muslims should not take their case to the court. They shouldn't. If they follow this book, they don't need to go to the court. This is the court. حكم الله. If they adhere to the rules of the Quran, to the principles of the Quran, to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the manners and the tradition of Ahlul Bayt, they don't go to the court. Even a husband and a wife, when they fight with each other, they don't go to the court. They don't go. But because we are away from the Islamic manners and Islamic akhlaq and Islamic behavior, we go to the court. One of the important responsibilities that we have in this country, my sisters and my brothers, is to take care of our children, is to try to inculcate in them Islamic values since they are little kids. Teach them the real essence of the Quran. Teach them the akhlaq. Some parents, some Muslim parents, they teach their kids Arabic language, which is very good. They teach them how to read and memorize the Quran, very good. They bring them to Saturday or Sunday school, very good. But they don't teach them akhlaq. Imam al-Sadiq says, رُبَّ تَالٍ لِلْقُرْآنِ وَالْقُرْآنُ يَلْعَنُهُ. Sometimes a person recites the Quran and the Quran curses him. The Quran says to him, you are reciting me, but you don't practice me. You only read me, but you don't practice me, you don't respect me. رُبَّ تَالٍ لِلْقُرْآنِ وَالْقُرْآنُ يَلْعَنُهُ. We have to teach them the Islamic manners. We have to teach them how to put this book into practice in their daily life. الدين المعاملة. سئل رسول الله يا رسول الله ما الدين؟ عرف لنا الدين. قال كلمة واحدة الدين المعاملة. Religion is the way you behave. Religion is the way you treat others. The way you treat others. Religion is not a certificate that I put on the wall and I say I'm Muslim. Look at my certificate. It's not like that. This is not religion. This is, a doctor could put this in his office, an engineer, to put his license there, his credentials, to show the people, see, I'm a graduate of this school and that school. But we, the mu'mineen, the Muslims, they don't do that. So how do I show people that I'm Muslim? Through my behavior, through my manners, through my akhlaq. The way I behave with you outside, the way I drive on the freeway in a non-Muslim country. It will determine whether I'm a good Muslim or a bad Muslim. The way I keep the environment clean, my masjid clean, neat. When I eat outside, I take care of my plate. I take it and put it in the trash. I don't just leave it there and go home. When I use the facility here, I keep it clean. It's very troubling that sometimes I go to a church and I use the facility there and I find it to be the nicest place. Sometimes you want to take a nap, believe me. So clean, so clean. The floor is so clean. And then you go to a mosque and you know the rest of the story. I don't have to tell you. This is not good. This is not Islam. Ad-deenun nadafa. The Prophet said, religion is a cleanliness. Your masjid, your community center, your car, your house, your bedroom, your desk. I've said this many times. You don't have to go and tell the people outside in your neighborhood that you are a Muslim with your tongue. Behave as a good Muslim, they know you are a Muslim. When they know the people in this house, in this property, they are nice, they are kind, they don't make noises, they don't fight, they don't scream. When they leave the house, when they go, when they come, after 10 p.m., they come quietly. They know those are good guys. This is the best advertisement for Islam. You don't need to put a banner, oh, I'm a Muslim, God the greatest, as you put here outside. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Do it through your actions, your akhlaq. Do it when you greet your neighbor. Do it when sometimes they need help, you go and help them. This is Islam. الدين المعاملة. وعنه صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم المسلم من سلم الناس من لسانه ويده. The true Muslim, the true practicing Muslim is when people feel safe when they are with him or with her. They don't feel intimidated. They don't feel threatened by his presence. When he comes, people feel they are safe because we have this guy among us. There is no worries. They feel safe. How many of the husbands now, their wives, they feel safe with them at home? How many of the wives, they feel they are safe? They are safe when their husband is around. How many? How many of the wives, they wait for their husbands to come back from work? How many? If they really wait for them to come back from work, this is a good marriage. But if the wife says, inshallah, he doesn't come back tonight, he goes somewhere else, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him coming back home. This is not an Islamic marriage. This is not a good marriage. This is not a healthy marriage. How many of the kids, they really miss their father when he travels, even for one night? If they miss him, he's a good father. But if they don't miss him, whether he's there or he's not there, no difference. Some fathers are just biological being, physical being, not spiritual, not mental, not moral. How many of us? Let's ask ourselves these questions. Friends, this is Islam, believe me. This is what Allah is going to ask me and you about. My responsibility as a father, as a citizen, as a member of the community, as a son. These are the things that God is going to ask me about. He's not going to ask me about this theology and that philosophy and Mullah Sadra, what did he say? No, he's not going. He's going to ask me about practical things. How do you treat people? A person comes to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Before I mention the story, the Prophet says, لَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ حَتَّى تُؤْمِنُوا. It's impossible for you to make it to paradise until you believe. وَلَن تُؤْمِنُوا حَتَّى تَحَابُّوا. And it is impossible for you to believe unless you love one another. This is the path. A Muslim does not carry grudge in his heart, jealousy, hate. His heart is really pure and clean. This heart, my friends, is the seed for love and compassion. If you put jealousy in it, if you contaminate this heart, intoxicate this heart with jealousy, with hate, then this is going to be an ailing heart. It's going to be an ailing heart. Qalbun marid. Not a healthy heart. And the ailing heart cannot communicate with the Lord. Cannot. He does not get the opportunity, the tawfiq to speak to his Lord. Even if he speaks, God is not going to listen to him. God wants the sentence, the dua that comes from your heart, that goes out from your heart, to be clean and nice and good. From a clean heart. فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, فَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ رَبَّكُمْ بِنِيَّاتٍ صَادِقَةٍ وَقُلُوبٍ شنو؟ حافظين الحديث ولا؟ وَقُلُوبٍ طَاهِرٍ. If you want to ask your Lord, pray to Him. نِيَّاتٍ صَادِقَةٍ, good intention. You don't cheat on God. وَقُلُوبٍ طَاهِرٍ. The heart is clean and pure. Your heart should be clean and pure. If you do this, God is going to listen and God is going to respond. But if the heart is full of a grudge and hate and jealousy, intolerance, the dua is not going to go up. لن تدخلوا الجنة. احفظوا هذا الحديث أيها الأحبة. احفظوه. لن تدخلوا الجنة حتى تؤمنوا ولن تؤمنوا حتى تحابوا. حتى تحابوا. You know how Christianity was able to dominate the entire world today? We have 2 billion people who are Christians. They did not teach people the Bible verse by verse, the tafsir of the Bible. They don't. With one concept, the concept of love. Love, 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 love. This is how they spread Christianity. Do you know that almost 79% of this nation, the American people, 79% of them are Christians? 79% of the Americans. Some of them, they say, I was born a Christian. I'm not. But, those who are considered part of the Christian tradition or culture, 79%. Through what? Through love. The message of love. You have to love others. And look at Islam today. Look at Syria. Muslims are killing each other. Jabhat al-Nusra with Daesh. Both of them, they have long beards, and when they kill, they scream, Allahu Akbar! Al-Izzatu lil-Islam. Allahu Akbar. And they kill each other. They murder women and children and innocent, and they destroy hospitals, schools, marketplace, mosque, church. Look at the difference. لن تدخلوا الجنة حتى تؤمنوا ولن تؤمنوا حتى تحابوا. So the man comes to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he says, Ya Rasulullah, I'm a man who's very busy, breadwinner. I have a big family. I have to sustain my family. I have no time for salatul tatawwu'. Meaning I just pray the 5 daily prayers. I don't pray nawafil. I have no time. I barely pray these 5 daily prayers. And I don't have time or energy to fast tatawwu'. Meaning if Ramadan is 29 days, I'm going to fast 29 days only. No more, no less. I can't, fast and Rajab and Sha'ban and Thursday and Monday and whatever. And I don't have time for that. And I don't have enough money to give charity. The money that I earn and make, I spend it on my kids, my family. So I don't make extra money. I don't make extra. Do you think I'm going to make it to paradise? Listen. Do you think I'm going to make it to paradise? The Prophet drops his head for a second. And then he raises his head. He says to this man, نعم وفي درجتي في الجنة آخذ بيدك وتكون في درجتي في الجنة إن أنت وعدتني. Yes, you can make it to paradise, provided that I would hold your hand and you would come not just to any place in paradise, waiting list, in the corner. No, my level, my corner in paradise, if you promise me the following. إن أنت وعدتني أن تحفظ قلبك من اثنتين, to safeguard your heart from two things. Keep it clean. من الغل والحسد, from hate and jealousy. Don't allow hate to penetrate your heart. Neither allow jealousy to come into your heart, to pollute your heart. Keep it away from these two pollutants. Hate and jealousy. Promise me. وَلِسَانَكَ مِنْ اثْنَتَيْنِ, and safeguard your tongue from two things. مِنَ الْغِيبَةِ وَالْكَذِبِ, from backbiting and from lying. Don't lie and don't backbite. And if you listen to some people backbiting, leave or change the subject. Don't. أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله. Don't do that. Don't destroy your community, your society, your mosque, your family. Don't destroy brotherhood. It's very hard to make two people friends. So don't come and destroy this friendship, this brotherhood and sisterhood. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is a crime against the society, not just a crime against yourself. You are destroying the whole society. You are destroying the social harmony in your community. Stop backbiting. Stop. There are some men and women who have some religious gatherings in their homes, some women who make majlis in their homes, and rather than learning Quran and Dua and Masail and Islam, they sit there and they keep backbiting. Oh, this family did this, that individual did this one got divorced, this one has a fighting with his second wife, this one is this one is that. None of your business. None of your business. Mind your business.
Just women or?
All people. All. Men before women. Unfortunately. We all have a problem. We all have a problem. We should fix our problems. The day I think that I am really clean, perfect, if I am really perfect, then I try to fix people's problems. But if I have a problem myself in my family, with my kids, I should not, gossip about people's life. This is not good. This is not good. Stay away from that. Be honorable. Keep yourself respected and honorable. وَلِسَانَكَ مِنْ اثْنَتَيْنِ, save your tongue from lying and backbiting. مِنَ الْكَذِبِ وَالْغِيبَةِ وَعَيْنَكَ مِنْ اثْنَتَيْنِ, مِنْ أَنْ تَزْدَرِي بِهِمَا مُسْلِمًا, do not look down at people with your eyes. Don't scorn people with your eyes. Don't feel the conceit and the pride and arrogance that you are above others. Others like, herd of sheep, and you are the professor, you are the most knowledgeable. Don't do that. وَعَمَّا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى, and keep your eyes away from what is forbidden. Whether it's a picture, whether it's a movie, whether it's live scene, whether it's women, whether it's an object, a man, don't look at that. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم غضوا أبصاركم ترون العجائب. غضوا أبصاركم. Try to control. Once you control, we will open other windows of opportunity for you, higher windows. Try to control yourself. The hadith says nothing more guilty than your eyes, because it's the window. It's the window for the heart, for the thoughts. When you allow your eyes to look, to watch, to see, then you will lose control over yourself. So keep it away. قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم. يغضوا من أبصارهم. So the Prophet said to him, if you keep these 6 promises, 1 is the heart from ghil and hasad. 2nd, the tongue from ghiba and kadhib. 3rd, the eyes from أن تزدري بهما مسلما, to give a dirty look to a believer, and from whatever is forbidden in Sharia. If you promise me, I would hold your hand and we will make it together to paradise in my level. You don't need to stand for Qiyamul Layl. Just do the 5 daily prayers. You don't need to donate your house and your clothing and this and that. You don't need to fast Rajab and Sha'ban and Ramadan. You don't need to do that. Promise me on these 6 points. This is Islam. It's all about behavior. This is the essence of Islam. Let me end with one story. This is a real story. How to keep oneself from being arrogant. It's very difficult. Very difficult. Because sometimes money makes us arrogant. إن الإنسان لا يطغى أن رآه استغنى. Sometimes knowledge, ilm, someone who was very good, but once he went 2 days and a half, no more, believe me, to Qom or Najaf, 2 days and a half, not 3 days. He comes back different. Allahu Akbar. Nobody can talk to him anymore. You have to greet him, Salam Maulana Habibi, and kiss his hand. And we've seen this. We've seen. Arrogance can strike at any person. Don't think that we are immune because we wear certain dress. Arrogance is like a virus that can strike on any person, any given moment, any place. And sometimes with the people of ilm, they have more arrogance. الحديث يقول العلم هو الحجاب الأكبر، يعني يحجب الإنسان عن الله. العلم مو الجهل، العلم. يعني يصير متكبر بمجرد أن شاف نفسه عالم، شاف نفسه يختلف عن الناس، أفضل من الناس، هو العلامة، هو الفيلسوف، هو الفهامة، هو كذا، ودول كلهم ناس ما يفتهمون. غرور. إن الإنسان لا يطغى. This man, at the time of his death, the entire city came to his funeral. So one of the ulama said, I was in his funeral and I saw that entire city, Muslims, non-Muslims, Shia, Sunnis, Baha'is, they came for his procession, for his funeral. So I asked, what is special about this man, other than being a businessman, successful businessman? They said, this man started his journey with nothing. He was penniless. Actually, he was a porter, carrying goods. حمال يعني حمال. باللبناني شو يسموه السوري عتال. حمال إنسان حمال. He carries goods in the market, But then he became successful. He was very wise, very intelligent. He seized the opportunity. He invested, he made money, and alhamdulillah, Allah gave him the tawfiq, the success. He became very, very wealthy. But he did not become arrogant. How did he keep himself away from arrogance? He puts his tools of hamala, the zambil, the one that he carries the goods in it. Have you seen the zambil, big one? Huh? If you go to India, to Pakistan, to Iraq, to these countries, you see them still, they carry them. The bag, big bag, where he puts the goods and he carries them on his shoulder. He put these things right in front of his eyes. Every day in the morning when he wakes up, he looks at them. And he says to himself, Fulan, this was you a few years ago. Don't forget. You started from this. Do not become arrogant. Don't let this money and this wealth change your manners, change your akhlaq. Be humble. Remain good a human being. This was your origin. And God can take you back again to this condition. He kept looking at them to remind himself. To remind himself. We have to remind ourselves. أولك نطفة قذرة وآخرك جيفة عفنة وأنت ما بينهما تحمل العذرة. The best description of man, history of man on earth. His beginning, the beginning of man is what? نطفة قذرة. إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه. Drop. Single drop. And this single drop, it has 300 million sperms. Imagine one single drop has a 300 million sperms. One sperm is enough to create someone like me and you. So our beginning is so cheap, so cheap. And it comes out from the worst place in our body. This is the beginning. نطفة قذرة وآخرك جيفة عفنة. You know, one of God's mercy on us is that we have to be buried. You know, if they don't bury us, what will happen? What will happen to us? No person can get close to us. Even our relatives, our family members, they run away, miles. This is our ending. The body is going to be decomposed in the grave. This is the ending. وَأَنْتَ مَا بَيْنَهُمَا. Between this beginning and that beginning, you carry the refuse. تَحْمِلُ الْعَذَرَ. Who can say, no, say it, you are wrong. I have different beginning, different ending, and I don't use bathroom in my life. Nobody can say that. This is our history, this is our reality. So why you become arrogant? For what reason? اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك غافر الخطيئات إنك ماحي السيئات وجاعلها حسنات إنك على كل شيء قدير. We will leave a couple of minutes for Q&A if you have any questions. إذا عندكم أسئلة أو بعض التعليقات.